Good evening. Oh my God, I see so many messages in the chat box, and I was just taking a moment to be able to read so that I know where should I be beginning my introduction with. Because these are a horde of messages that we have. Good evening, everybody, and you guys look genuinely disturbed with the mock scores. सच में लग रहा है कि कुछ सच में बहुत गड़बड़ चल रहा है. And it's a given. अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि इतने हाई प्रेशर एग्जामिनेशन इतने हाई स्टेक एग्जामिनेशन पे हम वी फोकस्ड ऑन टू एंड वी पुट एवरीथिंग दैट वी हैव फ्रॉम आवर विल पावर टू आवर टाइम टू everything has been invested onto a paper. So of course I know, how much it's like a ride or die right now. Yeah, right, we are on a fight or flight mode. या तो ये हो जाएगा या तो ये नहीं होगा, तो ऐसा लगता है it's going to be doomsday, nothing else is going to be there. But that is what I've come here for. I've come to help you balm your fears, all of your anxieties that you have, because clearly you guys are going berserk in the chat box, right? Mocks सबके अलग होंगे, स्कोर सबके अलग होंगे. सबसे पहले तो एक चीज जो करना छोड़ दो अभी से, going forward, and that is don't match your score with anybody. You don't know what the other person's journey is. You don't know what the other person's practice is. You don't know anything about the other person. Keeping an ideal is a different thing. Copying the other person or only keeping on comparing continuously, thinking कि उसका बढ़ रहा है मेरा नहीं बढ़ रहा है, not a very good idea. So that's going to be something that I want you to stop doing right now. And I just want to give a disclaimer before we begin. Now, today we meet for a very short while. So it's just going to be a 10-15 minute short, crisp, sweet, rendezvous that we are going to be having, wherein I will tell you what are the things that you must be doing right now, which must be eating up a lot of your energy and sanity of mind, which you shouldn't be. What exactly is an ideal score right now? Now, again, I know that if you're not being able to attain that ideal score, you're going to be, down in the dumps. You're going to be very depressed about it कि मेरा तो ये भी नहीं हो रहा है. And of course जो already पा रहे हैं इतना, they'll have a sense of gloat. उनको लगेगा कि हमारा तो already achieve हो गया, but that's not what it is. The way I have come with a score is only by understanding how many months of preparation has it been and how many months to go. So my preparation or my bandwidth is purely calculated. It is backed by effective ration as to why should you be scoring that much and how much room should you have. If you are anyways above that bracket, it's a very good thing for you. But you don't have to let that go on you. I mean, you don't have to start going in a sense of pride. That's not the roller coaster we want to be on to. Secondly, agar aapka kam aa raha hai usse, so again, this is in fact a video that we are doing to encourage you, right? Ki you have to come to that. And maybe कभी कभी strategy is not a problem, application is not a problem, it's these externalities जो इतना अटैक कर रही होती है हमको. एंजाइटी से एकदम we are ridden with anxiety, हमको समझ में नहीं आ रहा, पेयर प्रेशर इतना है, टाइम मैनेजमेंट नहीं हो पा रहा, इतनी सारी और चीजें होती, किसी दिन मूड ही खराब है, रीडिंग नहीं हो पा रही है, कंसंट्रेशन नहीं हो पा रहा है, दीवार की चिपकली ज्यादा एंटरटेनिंग लग रही है, so on and so forth. So there are going to be a lot of things that actually affect your paper, and it's just not always your practice. Because I come across a lot of students who tell me, मैम मैं इतना प्रैक्टिस करता हूँ फिर भी मार्क्स नहीं बढ़ते, which is okay, which means तुम्हारी गड़बड़ प्रैक्टिस में है ही नहीं. तुम्हारी गड़बड़ कहाँ है? तुम्हारी गड़बड़ है to be able to gather yourself in those 2 hours during the mock. So every bit matters, and which is why please take this video, this session with a pinch of salt. Because like I said, it is not to feel bad if you're not getting that score, but we understand that this is, again, please customize the video as per your requirement. I am talking about somebody who's been into almost about 3 to 4 months of practice and has about 4.5 months to remain for the CLAT. So I'm talking for somebody who's on, who's done a little bit on both sides, has previously practiced, and of course has more. If you are somebody who's joined today, then, this can be a source of motivation that in the next 1 month, this is where I want myself to be. If you have been preparing for more than a year, then of course you have to be at a range which has to be 2 times what we discuss right now. So please make sure that you are going to understand where you are and evaluate this as per your journey, not something which has just been slated out loud. That's never how any of the sessions are supposed to be. And with that, let us simply begin. Now, what I come with today is what should be the ideal score in CLAT mock currently at this point of time, understanding, like I said, that it's been 4 months into practice, right? 4 months of practice and 4.5 months that remain. So we are right at the juncture wherein we have 50% of the time that has passed and 50% of the time that remains. And now how do we make the best of this 50% time of that remains is going to be what our decisive index, our decising factor is going to be as to how do we qualify the CLAT examination. So let's talk about the dreaded plateau. Why I say plateau is because ever seen a plateau? Geography में पढ़ते थे ना, ऐसे होता है और ऐसे होता है. तो कभी कभी क्या होता है, मार्क्स बढ़ते हैं, बहुत मजा आता है, everybody feels very nice. Then comes a time wherein there is stagnation. The stagnation is what we call a plateau. A lot of you guys have been able to, might be stuck in that rut, wherein your marks are not increasing, they're not decreasing, but they're not even increasing. And then, of course, it goes. But again, we don't want it to go down, but a plateau can be broken anyways. A plateau can also take a high, right? But a plateau basically means a monotony of the score. And that is one of the reasons as to why you guys might not be scoring, because you've reached a plateau. Now, when to break a plateau, always remember you will have to do something which is very drastic. यहाँ पे अगर anybody who's a fitness maniac would know what a plateau is, because body भी आती है. जब आप एक ही टाइप की एक्सरसाइज बार बार करते हो, आप पतले नहीं होते हो. Likewise, mind is a muscle. आप एक ही चीज बार बार करते रहोगे तो आप कभी भी उस चीज को अचीव नहीं कर पाओगे. You will be consistent, but that consistency is now getting redundant, which is why the graph should always be up and down. And to break a plateau, you will have to do something major. Major as in either hold back majorly because एक धक्का लगना है, या कुछ ऐसा कर दो which is beyond your believability कि मैंने ऐसा कैसे कर दिया, चमत्कार कर दो. But something has to be done knee jerk and something has to be done which is going to be very extreme. तभी ये plateau break होगी, not otherwise. So let's see what do we have for today. Now, first things first, let's try and understand, are we safe? जो score हम लोग ला रहे हैं इस समय, are we safe? Now, how do you realize or how do you analyze, are you safe or not? Now, quick question. What's a good score right now in the mocks? आपको क्या लगता है? Let's have it in the chat box. What do you guys think? इस समय, at this point of time, be very realistic. What do you think is a good score analyzing your performance? Understanding आपने एक महीने पहले join किया, एक हफ्ते पहले join किया, 4 महीने पहले join किया. What do you think is a good score? Okay, so we have 80, 90, 100, 90s. Okay, I think 90s and 100s could be the ones who have already taken a year to prepare or have been preparing for from January. But like I said, I'm only talking about people who have joined 4 months back. That is, our start date is March. So anywhere between, okay, 70, 60-ish, yes. So a good mock score at this point of time, knowing that we've been into the practice for 4 months and 4.5 months remain, is anywhere between 65 to 80. Now I'm taking a very large bandwidth here. Why am I doing that? Because you have to understand, if you begin to keep your scope on a mark, कि यार मुझे इतना नंबर चाहिए, तो वो कभी नहीं आएगा. But अगर आप उसके इर्द गिर्द आओगे, if you come close to, if you're in proximity to what you are able to, you're able to evaluate or you're able to reckon, कि अच्छा, this is what I want, it's easier for you to push further. So let's see what do we have. So should you be hitting the 90s already? Or do you think is a 60s okay for July? Or do you think you're doomed because you're still stuck in 50s and below? So that is what we are going to break, because we will be talking some real numbers. Please don't get depressed. This is for you to be motivated. That's where we come in. There's going to be smart progress and how to actually see the mock scores climbing. So now, a very realistic benchmark. Everybody has a certain strata where you are. But like I said, a very realistic benchmark for July with us knowing 4.5 months remain for CLAT. Now, if you are somebody who's between a 60 to 70, like I said, 65 to 80 is what at this point of time you should be aiming for. Because anything more than that is doable. Anything less than that, what's going to happen is it will take you another 2 months to come to 65. ये जो 40 to 65 या 70 तक का climb होता है ना, everybody will agree with me, बहुत difficult हो जाता है. After that, it's little things like speed. It's little things like familiarity. Maybe a sequence change. Things like these will matter. But 40 to 70 का जो bracket होता है ना, that climb is purely based on accuracy. अगर आपकी accuracy on point नहीं है तो गड़बड़ होगा. क्यों? क्योंकि आप अटेम्प्ट तो करके आ रहे हो बट आपके नेगेटिव्स में इतने माइनस हो जा रहे हैं कि ऑल द मार्क्स आर कमिंग डाउन. So please make sure that if you are somebody who is below 50 or 60 at this point of time, it's okay. It's human to be there. So I want you to start going back to basics. Go back to the drawing board, start with your scratch again, get on to focusing on the accuracy. Now, the last time we did accuracy versus speed, and we understood how important accuracy is. So that is what I want you to do. I want you to go back to the accuracy bit of it. Now, if you are somebody who has a range of 60 to 70, you are what we call decent. Why? Because you're building. 70 के बाद हमारे पास बहुत रूम है. We have a lot of room to flex, to understand, to analyze. See, बहुत अच्छे नंबर लाना भी बहुत difficult हो जाता है. Why difficult हो जाता है? Because आप कहाँ से और नंबर लाओगे? If you don't have a triple digit score right now, which we of course want to be able to qualify for the CLAT, but if you don't have right now, in a way at this point of time, it's a good thing. आपका learning curve इतना है, आप इतना सब सीख सकते हो. But if you think that this is not, and you're already within a score range of 90 plus 100, it is very good. I am very proud of you for having that. But now to consistently maintain that is very difficult, because अगर एक mark में थोड़ा सा भी कम हुआ, like I said, the depression is going to hit us in a way wherein we will take a week maybe to be able to come back from that. So everybody is going through their own journey. Don't match, something that I keep saying from the start. If you are anywhere between 70 to 80, you've got a strong base forming, which means it's pretty clear your fundamentals are taken care of, your accuracy is on point. Now time management has to be your asset. That is what you have to focus on. अगर आप ऑलरेडी इस समय 85 to 95 पे हो, आप कॉम्पिटिटिव विंडो में आ गए हो, अब रिफाइन करो. मतलब अब आपका जो स्कोर है वो एक एक करके बढ़ेगा, which is going to maybe a question stem देखो, एक silly mistake देखो. It is not going to be something which is going to overhaul. This will require a lot of deep dive analysis. If you are anywhere between 95 to 105, you are already in what we call the rank zone, because you're touching a triple digit already. But here your consistency will always be, put up for question. Consistently लाना है. एक मॉक में आ गया तो नहीं होता है. It has to be something which has to be average. And then if you are 105 plus, welcome to the top 200 club. If this sustains. Now, if this sustains, because एक बार दो बार लाना and to consistently लाना are two very different things. And like I said, people who are here are dealing with third world traumas. When I say third world traumas, I literally mean to say that for them, confidence is so fragile कि थोड़ा भी कम आएगा तो वो चीज, बिकॉज इनको फंडामेंटल का प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, इनको टाइम मैनेजमेंट का प्रॉब्लम नहीं, इनको सीक्वेंस का प्रॉब्लम नहीं, इनको सिर्फ चेज करना है. इनके मार्क्स कहाँ कम हो रहे होंगे? मे बी एक दो रीडिंग सेक्शन में इधर उधर जा रहा होगा. जीके इज व्हाट मस्ट बी ईटिंग अप मोस्ट ऑफ देयर मार्क्स. सो दे जस्ट हैव टू गेट दैट राइट. But then to maintain that consistency, it's very difficult to maintain a topper streak. And this requires a lot of courage here as well. So everybody has their own battle to fight. And we want at this point of time anywhere between 60 to 75 or 65 to 75, 80 is what I want you guys to be getting. Because इसके आगे 4.5 महीने में पूरा स्कोप है बढ़ने का. But then like I said, अगर ये नहीं आ रहा है तो we really have to double our efforts. Double duty. You'll have to do 2 timing. Right? 2 times the practice, 2 times the effort, 2 times the reading. Everything will have to be done, because some people are already here. We're here. And the toppers are here. So we first have to get to what the normal range of students are. And then from here, we have to climb up the ladder for the toppers. So it's 2 times the stepping up that you guys, of course, have to be doing. But please always remember, a mock is not your final CLAT paper. Mock direction दिखाता है आपको. It can do hand holding to you. It's not the final paper. So it's not going to be the one that will get you a national ever. It is a practice test which will help you know which national are you looking at right now. But of course, you have to see what we have is the RAS. I've told this time and again, please RAS को अच्छे से analyze करो. Don't cry over spilt milk. अगर आप देख रहे हो कि कोई mock tough था और उस mock में गया ही maximum AIR1 जो गया है, या of all the students who've attempted, अगर the topper has gotten a 95, then don't cry that I've only gotten 85. It's a good score to keep. But if somebody has gotten 115 and you've gotten an 85, then of course you have to understand that there was a there's a very enhanced difference between the practice. So compare your scores to what you scored in the last week. Always remember, you are your competition. Period. That is it. You have to be a better version of yourself. You have to get a college, nobody else. So don't match it with what the other person is doing. If the other person is chilling and watching Netflix and still being able to score an 80, don't be jealous. It's okay. It's just that life is not the same for everybody. For us, comprehension might be a tough task. Maybe maths is easy. It might be vice versa there. So everybody has their own struggles. It's just that some are very obvious with it and some stay pretty calm at it. Now, a couple of don'ts that you have to do while chasing mock scores. ये सब छोटी चीजें होती है, बहुत अंडरमाइन कर देते हैं, इनको हम बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान नहीं देते, बट ये सच में बहुत मैटर करती है. Starting with, don't get emotionally attached to the scores. Very important. Don't sit on it and be like, ये इतना कम कैसे हो गया, ये क्या हो गया, हो गया यार. समझो, evaluate करो, analyze करो, क्यों हुआ, कैसे हुआ, कहाँ हुआ. And when the week passes, that mock is gone with. Maybe 2-3 weeks later, revisit that mock. See, have you grown? Have you been able to stop doing those mistakes or not? But don't get emotionally affected. That's not what you should be doing. Mock is a learning lab, not a label. A lot of people think that mock becomes your identity. This is how we're going to recognize you further. No, it's not a label, please. It's just a lab. It's where you experiment. So experiment as much as you can. At times, it could just be that, time is the problem, but accuracy is on point. So you just have to push. Sorry. पहले समझो तो what is going to keep your boat sailing? Don't judge yourself by one mock. Please don't do that. A lot of people, take one mock and think कि मैम मेरा तो 100 आ रहा था, अभी देखिए क्या आ गया, 80 आ गया. ठीक है यार, एक ही मॉक में तो आया है. मतलब पेट दर्द, हवा चल रही है. Everything can, make a difference. What if you've just, had some sort of a disagreement with somebody and come and given the mock and that you were not in the right headspace? Even the slightest of friction can begin to affect, and it will be visibly there on your mock. So please make sure that one mock is not a decisive index at all. And like we always say, we all have bad days, we all have rainy days, right? Wrong strategy, sleepy mind, tough paper. Look for the trends for at least 4 to 5 mocks. Average, something I keep saying, हमेशा 4 से 5 mock का average करो तब. And consistent mocks, ये नहीं कि एक महीने पहले वाला उठा लिया, एक अभी का उठा लिया. No. 5 back-to-back mocks. That is going to be your biggest way to be able to know how well to see. Don't blindly copy a topper strategy. I've seen a lot of people think that because it's come from the toppers, it's weasel words, we're supposed to simply enact it. No. It was their journey. It worked for them. Will it work for you? You don't know. You can try on their clothing. You can try on their style. See, attempts, and at least figure out. Experiment to करो आपके साथ बैठ भी रहा है कि नहीं. So yes, when a topper says something, we must listen to it, but you have to tailor fit it to your requirements. And always remember something that I'm a very strong proponent of. Start with your strength. Even if, a topper comes and says CR से start करो, क्यों? आप legal से start करो ना, अगर legal आपका forte है तो. Boosting the mind with confidence, fueling it with the right hormones is very important. तो कुछ भी बोले आपका topper, गलत नहीं बोल रहा है. But xeroxing it all together is not. See, they have complete meaning in what they say, but that doesn't mean it is supposed to be swallowed just the way it is. And what works for a 100 scorer may not work for a 70 scorer. Always remember, a lot of times what we do is we try to copy other strategy. Why? Because they've been scoring more. But their strategy has worked for a triple digit, not for a double digit. That strategy works elsewhere. So you can't have a unanimous, a blanket strategy जो सबके लिए काम करेगी. I've seen this also. Peer pressure में हम लोग अक्सर ये काम करते हैं. We are like, अच्छा तुम ये कर रहे हो, चलो मैं भी ये करता हूँ. अरे तुम अपने स्कोर और उसके स्कोर को तो देखो. वो स्कूल नहीं जाता है, तुम स्कूल जाते हो, ये तो देखो. So there are very small nuances, which actually tend to be the deal breaker. Now, do's. What are the kinds of things that you should do? Identify your score leaks. देखो तो लीक कहाँ हो रहा है स्कोर. कम से कम 5 मॉक उठाओ और कंसिस्टेंटली देखो कौन सा घटा. एक या 2 नंबर या 2.5 नंबर डजंट मैटर. इट हैज टू बी ड्रामेटिक ड्रॉप. दैट्स वेरी यू अंडरस्टैंड. सबसे पहले तो अपना सेक्शन पकड़ो and then go to evaluate क्या it was a good day. Go back, jog down the memory lane to be able to think अगर what was it? Was it an easy mock, or was it a good day, or was it my strategy that really worked? Are you losing marks in misreading, mismanagement, or impulse guessing? वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, आपका एरर लॉग होना चाहिए जिसमें ये भी 3 क्राइटेरियाज होने चाहिए. एंड राइट डाउन द क्वेश्चन नंबर. सो टाइम मैनेजमेंट, इस क्वेश्चन में मैंने 3 मिनट वेस्ट कर दिया, फिर भी आंसर गलत हो गया. क्वेश्चन नंबर 3 लिखो वहां पे, so that the next time you come across something like that and you're like, okay, it's an inference question, I have to not spend time here. Go back. Likewise, misreading, you read it wrong. Question number 1, write it there. ये वर्ड नहीं पढ़ा, एक्सप्लिसिट था, ऑलवेज है, हमेशा से पता था, भूल गए, करो उसको. एंड रिवाइज दीज मिस्टेक्स बिफोर द नेक्स्ट मॉक. ऑलवेज वर्क्स. Keep a mock diary. After every mock, write the 3 things you did well and the 3 mistakes you would not repeat. Introspection is the biggest way to learn. So write down 3 things to appreciate what you did. Write down 3 things to understand that what could you have done better. Maybe you wanted to start with legal, but जैसे पेपर आया पता नहीं कौन से प्रेशर में इंग्लिश में चालू कर दिया. Okay. Then next time you are going to, stick to your guns there. You're not going to meander from anything. And a very important requirement, benchmarks rakho guys, scores mat rakho. If you think that in English you want a 24 on 24, okay, but keep a benchmark please, 22 to 24. On the day of the CLAT, this will become a very depressing and a very, it's going to become a very stagnant attitude, wherein you're like, mujhe itna hi lana hai, mujhe aur kuch nahi lana hai. And then that will begin to eat you from inside. It's going to be a burden which is going to get insurmountable if you don't train yourself right. So bandwidth hamesha kaam karta hai, which is why English mein 20 se, this would have been 24, 22 to 24 is good. CR a 20 plus, right? GK 15 to 20. Now nobody will get a 28 on 28 because kuch GK to hoti hai jo sar ke upar se chali jaye. But you have to know that, okay, this is what I'm allowed to get. Anywhere between, this is supposed to be 25 to 28 is what you should be aiming in legal, and 7 to 10, well, for DI, I can maybe take the plunge for 12, but if you are somebody for whom maths is not a very good friend, then bandwidths always work. And just before you start a mock, believe in yourself and think that, okay, इस mock में मैं इतना नंबर लाने की कोशिश करूंगा. भले उसके बाद अगर टाइम नहीं बच रहा तो 4 क्वेश्चन छोड़ दो ना. सीआर में 20 चाहिए था ना, तुम एक पैसेज तो पूरा छोड़ सकते हो ऑलमोस्ट एक क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करके, बट फिर स्ट्राइक रेट पूरा होना चाहिए. सो सी द लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स यू कैन डू टू बी एबल टू गेट बेटर. एंड ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, 1 मॉक एट अ टाइम, 1 मार्क एट अ टाइम makes huge difference. 1 mark at a time का मतलब है, even if one day you are doing 1% of growth, 100 days 100% growth, and that's about it. So please make sure that you are a better version of what you were yesterday, but you're not somebody who's going to copy and begin exhibiting somebody else's personality altogether. That's not what we want. Please do time bound drills, revisit your old mocks. कोई भी नहीं करता ये, पता नहीं क्यों. Revisit your old mocks. It helps. It helps you see how you've grown or how you have gone back. And that also is going to be quite a learning, it's going to be quite a learning truth that we have. It's going to be like a truth bomb. And one full analysis Sunday wherein you will give mock, review, and reinforce newer strategies that this is what I'm going to be doing. So now, अगर आपका score is bandwidth में है, so probably these are the things that are going wrong. Starting with, अगर आप 50 से 70 के बीच में हो, if you are stuck between 50 to 70, then most probably you have to go back and revisit your basics. Your accuracy has taken a beat. If this is not happening, then accuracy is a problem. If this is not happening, then time is a problem. If this is not happening, then confidence is a problem. It's very clear. This is what it is. So you need to go revisit your basics, focus on the accuracy, and master the reading. It'll help. If you are stuck between 70 to 90, sectional timing लगा के, stopwatch लगा के करना चालू कर दो. You all know what we want, 6.5 minutes per passage. That's it, through and through. Targeted error fixing करो, GK को खींचो. At this point of time, क्योंकि time is a problem, reading sections को इतना focus ना करके non-reading पे देखो. 28 plus 12. That's 8, 9, 10. That's 40 marks in barely what? 15 and 10. 25 minutes. 25 minutes, 40 marks. अब बचा हुआ जो आपके पास 1 hour 35 minutes है, क्या आप उसमें बस बाकी के बचे हुए क्वेश्चंस नहीं कर सकते क्या? Here, begin to focus. अगर टाइम का प्रॉब्लम है तो प्लीज begin to focus on the non-reading sections. अगर आप 90 to 105 के ब्रैकेट में फंसे हुए हो, देन आपका स्टेमिना का प्रॉब्लम है. मतलब यू आर रीडिंग बट टुवर्ड्स द एंड दिस फटीग, you're getting clouded, you're getting tired, and which is why you're making silly mistakes. You are risk taking, calibration करना पड़ेगा. आप शायद आपकी sequence redundant है, कुछ है जो काम नहीं कर रहा है. You'll have to figure that out. Probably just swapping two sections might work. हो सकता है जीके को थोड़ा फोकस कर लेना या मैथ्स में थोड़ा सा ध्यान दे लेना. Anything might just work. Epiphany आनी है यहाँ पे. Prioritize accuracy in strengths. Please look for question stems which are going wrong, क्योंकि आपके एक ही तो नंबर इधर उधर जा रहे हैं. उनको आइडेंटिफाई करो कहाँ जा रहे हैं एंड स्टार्ट गेटिंग कॉन्फिडेंस ऑन व्हाट यू आर, सो दैट silly mistakes is of course not we are doing. So please understand guys, there is no one size fits all policy in CLAT. ऐसा कभी भी नहीं होता है. So which is why we don't come to an ideal score, we come to an ideal bandwidth, and that has to be anywhere between 65 to 80 at this point of time. This is what you should be getting. There's a 15 mark bandwidth here, which means एक mark में 4 नंबर ऊपर भी आ सकता है, कम भी आ सकता है, but you are in a decent score because here a lot of things can be improved. But anything less than that, like I said, double the effort is what it will require. So, but there's always one ideal attitude, and that is track your growth, not your guilt. Guilt से हमें नहीं जीना है, हमें growth से जीना है. So even if you've done bad, just redeem yourself and think that okay, next mock I'm just going to give it all, and I'm going to at least not make these mistakes. I always say make newer mistakes. जितनी mistakes हो सके बनाओ, पर new, so that you are exhausted of making mistakes. जब mistakes ही नहीं बचेंगी तो it's just an upward climb altogether. So even if you're climbing 5 to 7 marks every 2 weeks, you are in the game. 5 to 7 marks, which means आपको 65 से 80 आने में सिर्फ 1 महीना लगेगा, और 80 से फिर 90-95 आने में 2 महीना, 4.5 महीना है. Absolutely perfect time for you to get the growth. And if you're stuck, always remember, we fix, we tweak, but we never panic. CLAT is not for panic, people who are motivated by panic. CLAT is always for people who are grounded, who learn from their mistakes, and who are always in the game with a game plan to be able to do better. So here is where I end today's YT. I hope all of this was essential. Peripheral motivation, at least. I know a lot of you guys might be feeling sad about having seen, but I was just trying to be brutally honest, because 4.5 months, we cannot have any fluffs. We cannot be sugarcoating anything. We have to know what is going to sit right with us, how to get it better, and how to ace in the CLAT paper after all. So please watch this again ever if you feel that what should be the bandwidth, or if you want any source of motivation, because at the end of it, that is what I was trying to do. I was trying to push you, and only if you push your limits will you do better, will miracles happen. Because if you just sit complacent, nothing much is going to happen. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time to me to be able to walk you through a session which was very, very important. I hope this has been of immense learning value for all of you. Please do hit the like button if you did like the session. Share it with other friends whom you think are also stuck and who need to get it out, that this is what needs to be done. And of course, do let me know in the chat box if there's any other thing that's bothering you and that you want me to come around and just motivate you, or maybe talk to you, or do anything around it. It shall be my honor. Have a great evening, everybody. Good night. And I'm going to see you guys next time with another video. But until then, there is a Sunday that's coming in 2 days, and you know what you have to do. Work your magic, everybody. Thank you so much.